What is up, Grizzlies fans? Welcome into another episode of Talkin Grizz. I am joined again. Thankfully, she let us have her back on. Cayleigh Griffin, the courtside reporter of the Houston Rockets. How's it going today?
Hanging in. Always glad to be back with you, Kelcey. You know I'd come back anytime.
Makes me so happy. All right, so we have the first of two games between the Grizzlies and the Rockets happening this week. The Grizzlies haven't played at home since January 18th, which is kind of a crazy thing to think about. But these two teams have also been on the longest win streaks in the NBA. Now, the Grizzlies ended their win streak against Indiana just a few nights ago. But what does it say about these two teams this early in the season to be able to rack up that many wins in a row?
Being on the road, the Rockets are going to Memphis on the end of a 4-game road trip. So they've been kind of on the road for a while too. They come home for one and go back on the road. So it's a good test for these teams early on. I think it says a lot about both of these teams. Both are very young, like you said. The Grizzlies have a lot of young talent, and a lot of eyes have been on them for a while now, especially with Ja. And for this Houston team, there's a lot of unknown, right? People are wondering what they're going to get from Houston. I think they're even kind of feeling that way too, because they're just learning to build chemistry with each other, having gone through so much change back from September with a new coach, new whole coaching staff, new general manager, and from last year's team, there's only 4 remaining players. So it's a whole bunch of guys starting to still get to know each other. For the first time in a while, the Rockets have a lot of rookies playing too. So it's a process, but I think it shows that for both of these organizations, the future is bright as they look to these young talents that are leading them to wins early on.
And Cayleigh, I'll get to road and home games in 1 minute, but as someone who was with this team last year and now only 4 players come back with you this year, do you feel that chemistry is starting to build?
I do. I mean, right now we are on a little bit of a win streak airing tonight. We're filming this, let everyone know, before we play OKC tonight. So they were coming into the OKC game on a 6-game winning streak. That in itself says a lot about this group. And from what we've heard from them over the last few days in particular, they're really preaching that they're all buying into this system. Coach Silas has come in and he's a first-year head coach, so he's new to this too, but he's been in the league for 20 years. So he wants to come in and instill a lot of ball movement, a lot of pushing the pace. And these guys have bought into it, and that's what they're doing. So I think we're starting to see the chemistry come along. They're learning each other's tendencies, which just takes time. You just need a few games under your belt to really get to learn and see that. And so far, that's what the Rockets are starting to see come together right now.
Well, I'm glad for you, because it is not fun when you're with a team that isn't doing so well. Luckily for us, we've been so spoiled so far this season. But let's talk about now home and away. So you guys are coming on the end of a road trip. The Grizzlies are finally coming home after what seems like, I guess it's been a couple weeks now. So before, at the beginning of the season, no fans, it was kind of like home court advantage wasn't really a thing. Traveling isn't great, you know, you're not in your own bed, but there's no one screaming at you when you come into the arena. Fans are starting to come back now. We saw that with the Lakers game, of course, and I think Phoenix just opened up their arena to some fans. So do you think home court advantage is going to become a thing again?
I still don't know. And we've actually asked some of our players that, and PJ Tucker said it actually feels stranger right now when arenas have fans than when they don't, because they've gotten so used to, whether they were in the bubble playing with no fans, and now to start the season, very few arenas have fans. The Rockets have about 4,000 fans in there. It's still a little weird because it's not, you can still hear a lot of the fake crowd noise, so it's not really the same. It's whenever the arena is actually pumping in the noise. So I still think that home court advantage is not going to really play into it too much this season. It'll be interesting to see because, of course, teams just are comfortable on the court that they spend a lot of time on and they work out on sometimes too. So it'll be interesting to see. I still think, though, that it's going to not play as big of a role as it normally does.
All right, well, Cayleigh, we will see. The tip-off for the Grizzlies-Houston game is 8 p.m. Central Time. We're wishing you luck tonight against OKC, and then all bets are off tomorrow, but then the next day we'll be friends again, if that's cool.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Kelcey.
Thank you, Cayleigh and Grind City Media. You can always get more on that website.